So with that all said, that leads me to a brand new take for you, Dom. Breece Hall will play his last game in a Jets uniform this Sunday against the Bengals. I think he's going to get traded during the Week 9 bye. The best interest of Breece and the Jets. Breece gets to play for a contender and show off his talent, and the Jets get something for him in return instead of just letting him walk for nothing. Will you get any type of high compensatory pick? I don't think so. It'll probably be best third, more like maybe fourth round. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Gulick, alongside my co-host, Tom Savino. We will be discussing the week that was. The Knicks begin their season Wednesday night, while the Giants suffer another heartbreaking loss, and the Jets are on the verge of history, the bad kind. The Mets receive big news regarding an ace pitcher, while the Yankees are waiting for the winter offseason. Dom, what the heck is going on? You were off yesterday, but how was your weekend, buddy?
Absolutely brutal. I have a lot to say, but the way I can only say it on my rant. I can't just casually say what I want to say. But yeah, absolutely brutal, heartbreaking. That's probably one of the best comebacks in NFL history. That pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Tough to watch.
I
was watching it from start to finish because Lord knows I'm going to watch the Jets nowadays. They're just horrid. But yeah, that was a tough game to watch. My weekend was pretty good. Saturday I went into the city. I went to Oktoberfest in Stone Street, and it was pretty lively. I went to Ulysses. It's a great bar. If anyone's been there, I'm sure you can relate. If you haven't, you should go there at some point. Great live band that they had, and they had a multiple live bands going from, 12 in the afternoon all the way up until about, probably 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. A lot of fun. I went to a couple other bars with some friends, but Saturday was good. Sunday, just watched the Jets do what they do best, look like shit. And the Giants, I thought the Giants were winning. I thought they had it. Jackson Dart looks like the real deal, though. So the Giants, this was tough, lose 33-32 to the Broncos on the road. Dom, before you start, the Giants have now lost 9 straight road games dating back to last season.
Yep, which is weird because I feel like most of my fandom, we do better on the road. But this past 2 years, it's been the opposite, which is sort of crazy because we're not even seeing many wins at home either. But we are winning more at home. So I find that kind of funny. It's just pathetic. That's going to be my word of the day. Pathetic. That's how everything has been over the past 24 hours of just hearing everything. You're hearing everything that everyone has to say about it, and no one's wrong about nothing. Like these analysts and the players, and they have every right to feel how they felt. I mean, honestly, give credit to also the Broncos too, because that's really hard to do, is score 30 plus points in one quarter, especially the fourth quarter. So I give them props as well.
For sure. No, for sure. It was a tough game. I mean, Jackson Dart, you had some of those deflection passes, right? One ended up being a touchdown. Scatterboo got his first receiving touchdown. It was one of those games, honestly, where, I don't know. And they didn't have a kicker, right? Graham Gano is hurt. He's on the IR, and they had to bring in some random guy. I mean, Dom, where the hell did they find this guy? They just picked him up off the street?
I don't know. I think they went to an Irish rugby team, just a random one, and was like, "You kick good, could come through." I think that's exactly what happened.
I mean, it was just like, Dart's numbers were good, right? He had a great game. I mean, it's tough to kind of try to really talk about when, the whole entire game you were essentially leading and you definitely should have won. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wow, missed an extra point. Then you had to go for a 2-point conversion. Then you missed another extra point. It was a much better game than whatever the Jets put together. But 1 interception, 3 touchdowns for Jackson Dart, 283 yards. I mean, what was his QBR? QBR was the 67.3, passer rating 93.4. I mean, it's a pretty good game for him. I mean, it's not like, he didn't come to play. The defense slacked off, though, in the second half. That's what I read a lot about, that the defense took their took their foot off the gas.
That's exactly what it was. But then also that combined with the game plan of what it was. If you look on Twitter or Instagram or anything, or when it comes to Giant fans, people aren't saying this just because they're upset. Well, especially, heavy Giant fans. Like, we can tell that if Wink Martindale was our defensive coordinator, we'd probably have, if not one of the best defenses in the league. We would be steamrolling over offenses the way that he would just blitz every time, which was somewhat of a problem back then because that's all he was doing. But we didn't have the talent back then. If he was on our team now, I don't think anyone would be able to stop us. I can't see it. I can't see it happening.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, do you so would you say now, like, if Wink Martindale was here, right, instead of Shane Bowen, they would have single-handedly taken this game and they would have won it, and all of those mistakes or, misplays that they had on Sunday wouldn't have happened?
I agree. I mean, obviously not all of them because you have players like Deonte Banks, who I think he just forgot how to play cornerback. He just did a completely 180 in his career, and he just looks so lost. I honestly feel bad of how someone had such a great rookie year, and then 2 years later, you look like this. It's honestly just sad. It's not even me being so pissed off at him anymore. It just seemed like he lost all of his confidence in the game, and it looks like even the love for the game of football. He just looks defeated.
He doesn't look great. And I can see how now that, Cordell Flott is really looking, a lot better and looks like a serious talent over Deontay Banks. And I even mentioned it to my brother the other day. Dom has been saying that Deontay Banks doesn't try really anymore. He doesn't put the effort in. He's not the same guy that everyone saw when he was a rookie. So that whole thing is 100% true because there were plays where I thought, all right, he's close. Like, he'll have a pass deflection that he's just not there.
He's
He's
not there
just
at all.
just
He's
he's nowhere
not.
to be found. Like he's just not there. So it's pretty wild. Yeah, it was a tough game to watch. And honestly, the funny thing is right, once the Broncos had their last drive, there wasn't a lot of time. I think, Dom, there was 31 seconds left in the last drive for the Broncos. There wasn't much time.
No.
And so my uncle's like, no, I don't think that's enough time. I was like, no, it's enough time. I was like, because really, I think they started out at about the 30-yard line. They didn't have many yards that they had to get to get through. And so Denver started at their own 23. 29-yard pass play. Bo Nix pass deep middle, Marvin Mims to the Giants, 48 for 29 yards. So huge chunk play. Okay, then a 5-yard penalty on Brian Burns because they were rushing and he didn't get back. He had a bum ankle, right? So neutral zone infraction. So now, they're even closer up. Now they're up to the Giants 43. And then you talk about a 22-yard pass. Bo Nix pass deep left to Cortland Sutton to the Giants 21 for 22 yards. And guess who was on the coverage for that, Dom?
Deontay Banks.
You got it. Deontay Banks. So once that happened, I was like, yeah, Deontay Banks is not the same guy at all whatsoever. So, I mean, listen, we could go crazy in depth about it. But Dom, as you saw, it kind of goes from, oh my God, you're now going 3-4. Hold on a minute. Hold my beer. This could be something. To now, give me my beer. I'm going to chug it because now they just blew it. And now they lost by 1 to the Broncos. It's just pitiful the way that game ended.
I saw it coming from a mile away because there was too many missed opportunities. There was obviously all the missed field goals by Jude McAdamy. So to miss 2 of those, then we missed a 2-point conversion, and then we had that deflection touchdown against us. I'm like, this is about to be a
That's right.
storybook ending. We're about to witness history. Like, as soon as also Bo Nix started running the football, and then I see no quarterback spy anywhere, I'm like, he's about to do this 30 more times. And then he scored twice in the fourth quarter with his feet. It was all written. No, I mean, I'm not saying script, but like, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just like the football gods just working its magic. And then with Jackson Dart, I see a lot of people still mad at him because it wasn't like a good drive to see. Right? At one point he was just shucking. It seemed like he was just shucking the ball into the end zone, hoping that someone would catch it. Then he threw. It was like third and 14. Yeah, 3rd and 14 in the fourth quarter, throwing it to a 5'8" Wan'Dale Robinson in double coverage, and like it should have been picked off. It should have been picked off. It wasn't. Thank God. And then you would think, all right, maybe he you don't have to throw it into the end zone. We just need a first down. And then he does that exactly again. He goes for the end zone, and then Riley Moss gets called for a pass interference. And I'm not gonna lie, it really didn't look like one. I think we got lucky on that.
Mhm.
But they're probably like, all right, he's going for the fourth time. Maybe we got to give him a call. There was no game plan. There was no plan. Just to instead of just four verticals like every time. Like that's some
That's
Madden shit right there. Which is, I mean, I could do that. I could be Mike Kafka
uh,
for a day.
I
And
mean,
then obviously like with Jackson Dart, I mean, he ran the ball in, and like he took care of the drive. We scored. I'm glad that he did. I'm glad that he still took care of business, even though it wasn't the prettiest drive. Am I mad at him? Not really. I mean, he got the job done. Why are people so pissed off about him for? I mean, yeah, he had a terrible interception. That was pretty awful. But he's a rookie and they're allowed to make mistakes. But
yeah,
I wasn't happy after that Russian touchdown, like I was happy for about 3 seconds. I was watching it like with my friends at the bar, and we're high-fiving each other, but none of us thought game over. That's like the most pathetic thing. That they still have an opportunity to go down the field because with a Shane Bowen defense, he leaves the middle of the field wide open and famously known as the 2 days ago, Brian Burns was so pissed off. He was screaming in the tunnel, going back to the locker room, saying, we only pressured 3 and dropped back 8. Like he was so flabbergasted and just dumbfounded. He's like, why? Like, why was that the call? Honestly, what Shane Bowen should have did was honestly watch the Broncos defense the whole fourth quarter. They were pressuring us like crazy. That's how we didn't score.
yeah. It's so two things I'm going to say. Number one, I know that interception was bad. I mean, he just lollipopped it to a linebacker. I mean, that was one of the worst interceptions I think I've seen all season from frankly any cornerback right now. Number two is I don't know if you heard Tiki Barber, Dom, after the game on Sunday. Did you hear him on WFAN at all? At all?
No, I didn't.
No. He's a pretty composed guy. Is usually pretty composed. He did not understand why, with a little over 5 minutes left, the Giants on third down decided to throw the ball. And he said, why aren't you running it to have the Denver Broncos use their last timeout? And I got to agree with him. I frankly don't know what Brian Daboll was thinking. I generally don't know what that man thinks sometimes. Not as much as Aaron Glenn, but sometimes I don't know what Brian Daboll thinks. And not having the Denver Broncos use their last time out, and I was saying it, everybody I was watching the game with was saying it, just run the ball. Just run. I mean, Scatterbo could even get a first down. Didn't matter that it was third and long. Like, just run the ball. But he threw it, and it turned into an interception. And from that play on, that's, I'm sure, Dom, when you thought, yeah, this is not going to end well.
It's so weird. It's such a weird situation because if this was any other team, they did everything right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can't control a pass interference call and all that. Like we understand that. But now there's people saying, why did you leave so much time on the clock? It's really not a whole lot of time if you think about it. It's only
No.
30 something seconds. That's it. But because it's the Giants defense, I don't really think it's the players. It's the scheme. That felt like they ran the ball down the field. Well, they took the ball downfield in like 2 seconds. Didn't feel like 30.
It
You know,
was 37 seconds,
yeah,
Dom.
37 seconds. Like, I mean, I guess if it was me, knowing who we have on the field, knowing who's our coaches, we could have just ran the ball again or took a knee just to save
Right.
some time. But
Yeah.
then obviously you're running the risk of, if we don't
Not
score,
scoring. Right.
yeah, if we don't score. So that's a real hard decision to make. And I'm not mad. Like I'm not mad at that either. Twitter really, really pisses me off with these people. With these people on this app, sorry, X now, they don't know what they're talking about, these people. I swear. Everything is good enough. Everything is wrong. Like everything is wrong. But they literally type with their emotions and
Mm-hmm.
no one's thinking. They're just
Yeah.
reacting. I hate it sometimes. I really do.
That whole game, Dom, with nitpicking what should have happened, what shouldn't have happened, and that is just pure hindsight's 2020. I mean,
Yeah.
like it happened. I mean, should they have done this? Then they would have won. Yeah. Should they have done that? Should they have not done that? When? Yeah. I mean, It's easy to say now, right? I mean, hindsight's 2020. But before I move on to the Jets, is there anything else you'd like to say regarding the game?
Oh yeah, I mean, just a few things. It's just there's reports of the Giants not really heavily going for a wide receiver now, which I mean we don't know. We don't know if
Mm.
that's smoke or not. But anything after this game, you really gotta get a receiver now. I'm sorry, Wan'Dale Robinson's not cutting it. And even if Darius Slayton comes back next week or whenever, it's really not that big of a difference. It really isn't. It seems like that he lost a step, at least a step, and he's not really getting open that much. Jalen Hyatt, it's either he's not getting open or they're just not giving him enough chances. So we got to get a receiver, even if it's a rental. We need something just to be competitive. You can't be throwing it to Wan'Dale Robinson every single time, or just handing the ball to Scatterboo 42 times a game. That can't happen. That Irish kicker's gone. Go back to playing rugby. This is not your sport. Nice try. The defense, they played good for most of the game. And even our offense, we made the Broncos defense look like a bottom 5 defense for 3/4. Jackson Dart is our future. We finally got the right guy. And we still have Scatterboo. And it seems like, people forgot about Tyrone Tracy, even though this is only his second year. Wan'Dale Robinson, he's having the best year of his career so far. Obviously, he's not the wide receiver 1, but he could be a good wide receiver 2 or 3. We still got Neighbors. Hopefully we don't know what's going to happen with him. I'm as much as brutal as this loss was, I'm just glad that we're competing, and I'm glad that we're just putting up points on the board, because it took us years to even drop 30 points. There was like I don't know the stat offhand, but there was a long streak where the Giants didn't score 30 points or 30 or more points in about, I'd say, a couple of years, maybe like 2 or 3 years. Like, that's how bad it is. We're seeing the tide change. We're seeing the ups, and obviously there's still downs. But like I said, before the season even started, and even last week, we're not going on a playoff run, and we have the hardest schedule in the league. So as long as we can stay in these games, we'll be good for hopefully the next 5 to 10 years.
I think that's a good way to assess everything. You need a wide receiver. The talent that the Giants have, it's a bright future. I know the Giants lost that game, but let's be real, Dom. I think you'd rather lose a game even like that in a season where you didn't expect to make the playoffs than have it be in a season where you have playoff aspirations. Put it in that context. Right. I knew you'd agree to that. So I think that's how Giants fans need to see it. So that's the Giants and unfortunately the heartbreaking loss. Folks, we've said it so many times. We want New York teams to win. I thought the Giants had it. I thought they were going 3-4, but unfortunately it was a heartbreaking loss. We'll get to the predictions a little bit down the road here. But hey, newsflash, Dom, the Jets lost again. So they lose another game to the Carolina Panthers at home.
We've watched a lot of football over the years, so many games. That was one of the most boring, shittiest performances I've ever seen, not even by just one team, by both teams. I swear to God, I was never that bored in my life watching football. And not even just from that game too. Even all the other games that was on at 1:00 were just brutal. Except for one game was the Eagles and the Vikings. That was a good game. But
Yes.
like we had Red Zone on one TV, and then the Jets game on the other TV. And I watched that Jet game to its entirety. Honestly, I think going to jail would have been more interesting than that.
I'd have to agree. They're pretty bad. I mean, I've seen some bad football, but this tops it. So 0-7 now, and they are on the verge of being the first team in NFL history to go 0-17. Okay. 0-17 for the first time in NFL history, but the sixth team to go winless for a full season. 1960 Dallas Cowboys, they went 0-11-1. The 1976 Tampa Bay Buccaneers went 0-14. The 1982 Baltimore Colts went 0-8-1. That was a shortened season due to a player strike, but still didn't win. 2008, a lot of us remember, Detroit Lions 0-16. The 2017 Cleveland Browns, the most recent, 0-16. And I just don't see how the Jets don't add on to this list. I mean, this team is just inept at scoring, frankly, doing most things, but they are just so bad at playing any type of competent football. They are just an incompetent team. They cannot do anything right. Now that leads me to say Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji may only be here, Dom, for 1 year. I just don't see how you keep these guys if you don't even win a game through 17 weeks of a season, 18 including the bye week, which is coming up after this Sunday. So I just don't know how you keep these guys. If they go 0-17, I mean, Dom, if you're Woody Johnson, that idiot who owns the Jets, do you really want this regime who just went 0-17 to draft and develop a quarterback?
So obviously, if you guys go 0-17, that should be 100% automatic firing, clean house. But I do have a question though. How much of a difference is it really going to make?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I mean, that's the thing, right? And that's actually crazy you asked that question because the next thing that I have written down here, Dom, they may have to stay and develop the quarterback because if you fire those two, then who is going to want to come to the Jets and restructure this whole team?
Yeah.
Who are you getting? Folks, you're not getting anyone. Who in the hell would want to come here? And you know how much serious amount of work has to get put into restructuring a franchise? A shit ton of work. Who is going to want to do that? And let me add as well, okay? Here's a reality check. Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback for the Indiana Hoosiers, he could look at the Jets' awful franchise and do what Caleb Williams almost did to the Chicago Bears. See that they're picking first overall and decide to play another year for Indiana. And then what? Well, what are you going to do then? You're going to have 37-year-old Tyrod Taylor and Justin Inept Fields as your quarterbacks next year for another season? I mean, you're really stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, if Fernando Mendoza and then, oh, well, we don't want young guys to be a savior, you got no choice. He's going to have to be a savior for you because you don't have another plan. I mean, Doms was talking about game plan with the Giants. The Jets don't have a plan to get out of a black hole, period. They don't have a plan at all. So I don't know what the hell they're going to do. It just blows my mind. Dom, have you seen Fernando Mendoza play at all for Indiana? He's pretty good.
No, I haven't. I honestly don't really watch much college football. The only college football I do really watch though is the Wolverines. Go Blue. Really the only really team I really watch.
All right.
Last week they took a really bad loss to USC. That was not pretty. That was not a pretty game at all.
Yeah.
But to add to your point though, you had Robert Saleh, who was a defensive coordinator, and then you go hire another defensive coordinator and Aaron Glenn. What if next year you guys try and get a offensive mind? You think that could possibly change something?
Yes, and that's what a lot of people have been writing on X. Try to get somebody who's got more of an offensive mind, like you just said, and see if that can help you. I think that's very important. But there's just a lot of different things that would have to happen. Get a new GM, get a new head coach, try to get some sort of quarterback play if Mendoza decides to play another year for Indiana. So that is all, on the list of to-dos. I'm also going to say, too, like Garrett Wilson being hurt, their offensive scheme was completely ruined because they don't have a wide receiver 2. They don't have a wide receiver 3. They really don't even have a wide receiver 4 or even a solid wide receiver 5. When you have to rely on Tyler Johnson, Josh Reynolds, Arian Smith, who just got drafted, I mean, Alan Lazard. I mean, everyone knows how much Alan Lazard is disliked in the Jets fan base. I mean, they just don't have another wide receiver. We've said this during the preseason. We obviously kept on voicing our opinions about how the Jets wide receiver room is not strong. They need a lot more work. Another thing, Breece Hall, he's not used well at all. Even after 7 weeks, he doesn't have a touchdown. So with that all said, that leads me to a brand new take for you, Dom. Breece Hall will play his last game in a Jets uniform this Sunday against the Bengals. I think he's going to get traded during the Week 9 bye for the best interest of Breece and the Jets. Breece gets to play for a contender and show off his talent, and the Jets get something for him in return instead of just letting him walk for nothing. So I think you should try to trade him. Will you get any type of high compensatory pick? I don't think so. It'll probably be best third, more like maybe fourth round. But you gotta get, you have to at least get something for his talent. I mean, you can't just say, okay, play the whole season and take care, see you later. I mean, you gotta get something for him. So would you agree with that take, Dom, that he'd be traded before Halloween.
I can definitely see it, but at the same time, I feel like you guys actually need something though. Instead of a draft pick. I feel like you gotta get a player of some sort. I mean, maybe a draft pick with a player.
I don't know.
I think you guys need maybe like an old lineman or something. You need something. I don't like what's a draft pick gonna do? Even like a fourth or a fifth. I mean, yeah, like the Giants. I mean, we got lucky with Scatterboo. He was a fourth round pick. But like, how many good fourth round picks are there? I don't think anyone's giving up a third. That's like the minimum is a fourth.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The problem is, Dom, his value is not up there, right? He's got his injury history. It's going to be tough if they're going to get a lot back for him, but you'd at least get something. Justin Fields should be QB3 for the rest of the season. And I say should because Aaron Glenn is not the brightest coach in the world. So he may just say screw it and play Fields on Sunday, but let Tyrod Taylor play a bit. And if you're still losing games, honestly, just have Brady Cook play and see what he has and what you got with him. Because really, at this point, you got nothing to lose. You're 0-7. Yeah, you'd like to get a win. I mean, could it happen at some point? Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins, as Dom said last week, are free for all. When he mentioned possibly the Giants trading for Jalen Waddle, they lost to the Browns, got smoked. I think they lost 31-6. I think that was the final score. Could be right, could be wrong, but they could get a win. But like Aaron Glenn, he doesn't really know what he's doing, and that also leads me to say, Dom, I don't know if you've seen Aaron Glenn's post game press conferences at all. This man's just out of answers. He
Yeah.
doesn't know what to say anymore. He has no idea what to say. He is out of answers. He frankly just stands there and he tries to give the most vanilla, bland answer. And especially from coming off of his stupid antics the week before, saying to Brian Costello, what kind of question is that? When Brian Costello asked him who's going to start at quarterback next week. And then it turned out Justin Fields only played for 2 quarters. Could you imagine? What kind of question is that? But I'm only going to play my starting quarterback for 2 quarters. Yeah, it was 31-6 Browns over the Dolphins. But could you imagine that? That is outrageous. I mean, what an idiot. What an idiot he looks. But he just doesn't know what to say anymore. So he's lost. And now I'm going to finish with this. The rest of the Jets schedule, Jets at Bengals. Okay, that's this Sunday. Week 9 bye. Jets versus Browns. Jets at Patriots on Thursday Night Football. Jets at Ravens. Jets versus Falcons. Number 1 total defense in the NFL still. Jets versus Dolphins. Maybe could be a win depending on, as Dom said, what they're going under free for all looks like at that point. Jets at Jaguars. Jets at Saints. Jets versus Patriots, Jets at Bills. The only game that I could see they possibly win is, honestly, I'm not going to lie, Jets versus Dolphins. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's really all I see. And even then, Tua could possibly cook up a decent game because at the end of the day, folks, it is against the Jets. If you ever want to get back on track, just circle the Jets on your schedule and you're good to go. Just when you think missing the playoffs, Dom, for 15 seasons would be rock bottom, no. Making poorly documented history of 0-17 is not rock bottom. It's your organization under 50 feet of shit. Now, people are probably saying, wow, these guys aren't energetic today. They sound like all the fervor in life has been sucked out of them. Folks, my team is 0-7. Dom's just lost a heartbreaking game. I don't know what you expect. I mean, after a while, it's like, something's got to give.
Like, have you seen like the craziest stat of all time after this Giants and Broncos game? That NFL teams had won 1,602 straight games when leading by 18 plus points in the final 6 minutes.
Oh my God.
Until that game. 1,602 straight games.
That's wild. That is wild.
This is the worst loss I've ever seen in any sporting event. This is worse than that Knicks Mavericks game.
Well,
remember that from 2-3 years ago?
That was December 2022. I don't think it's worse than Dom, though. The worst I've seen is it'll always be Patriots Falcons Super Bowl 2017. I'm sorry. I mean,
I'm talking about like for our teams.
For New York football, yeah. I mean,
like for New York sports
in general. Yeah.
New York sports.
Yeah, I get you.
That is the worst loss I might ever see in my lifetime. And the Giants have been through horrible losses. I thought that Cowboys game was bad. I thought a few years ago when we lost on a 60-yard field goal to the Eagles, 2017, that was
Mhm.
bad. None of those two compared to what we saw on Sunday. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that was bad. Last thing I'll say, and then we got to move on. The next topic is much more uh riveting and exciting. The Jets as an NFL franchise will be continuously deemed a laughing stock and a black hole that no player should want to enter into. And until they fix this, we just talked about Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji maybe only being here for just this season. Who in the hell is going to want to come here and fix everything? It is such a chore. And dealing with that idiot Woody Johnson, I don't think I mean, listen, you'd have to pay me a damn pretty penny to go in and try to fix everything that they've ruined. So that's that for football. Now, Dom, thank God. Okay. It's starting finally. It's about damn time. You got it. You got it on there. You're taking off the Yankee hat.
It's
What do you
not
got for me?
it's not Knicks, but it's
Nick, but
orange.
it's orange. All right.
It's orange. I'm bleeding. Orange and blue skies, right? It's what
Okay.
that idiot Stephen A. Smith says. I can't stand that guy.
Neither
I
can
hate him. I actually hate him, but honestly, it's a nice
Uh,
little slogan. It's a nice
yeah,
little slogan. I like it.
that's
That's the
good.
only good thing he's ever said in his life.
Absolutely, I agree, and I think he's a bandwagon fan anyway. I don't even think he's a true Knicks fan. So we're
No,
gonna
he's not.
move on now to the NBA, as you couldn't tell. We will. I'm gonna read the statistics here from the last preseason game. Friday, October 17th, Knicks beat the Charlotte Hornets 113-108 to finish the preseason 4-1. Standout players for this game: Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Jordan Clarkson, Miles McBride, Landry Shamet. Jalen Brunson, 34 minutes, 12 of 25 shooting, 5 of 12 from 3, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 31 points. He did have 6 turnovers, however, so that wasn't great, but not going to hold him to it on the last preseason tune-up game. Mikal Bridges, 33 minutes, 7 of 16 shooting, 2 of 8 from 3, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 16 points. Jordan Clarkson, 23 minutes, 5 of 13 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 13 points. Miles McBride, 24 minutes, 4 of 9 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 15 points. In 24 minutes, he was a plus 20 on the court, so that was nice. Good to see. Landry Shamet, 20 minutes, he got the final roster spot. 3 of 5 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3. That's where all of his shots came from. 2 of 2 from the line, 11 points, and a plus 3 on the court. Who did not play were Cat, OG, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. Garrison Matthews was waived. And I don't know, Dom, if you were surprised, Malcolm Brogdon retired. And so I don't know how you took this. Me personally, I actually, frankly, was annoyed that he did this late. And CP the franchise, shout out to them and Knicks Fan TV. They even reposted my story on Instagram, which full respect to them. I thought that was great. Love all the work that they do there. He even said he got a nice little fall trip to Abu Dhabi and then decided, hey, you know what? I'm too slow on the court, which that's what I was seeing. Alan Hahn said it too. He looked too slow. No surprise that he retired, but you did it this late. I mean, Dom is not a big fan of Russell Westbrook, but maybe they could have picked up him just as a backup. They could also go get Victor Oladipo and sign him away from China. I put out a image poll as a post on YouTube, and I asked who they should go after. They should do Victor Oladipo, or they should keep Tyler Kolek as the backup point guard. Not a ton of votes, Dom, but what I did get, I'll tell you right now what's on here. 12 votes and 67% said Victor Oladipo. So I don't really blame the people who did vote Tyler Kolek, but I also agree with the people who said go get Victor Oladipo, and even CP the franchise said it as well. So I don't know. What was your take on it? How did you react when you found out Brogdon retired?
Honestly, I was surprised that he retired, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he got cut from this team. Like you said, he just looked way too slow. He lost not just one step; it looked like he lost 3 steps. He doesn't even look that healthy prior to the other years. He didn't look really confident in his offense or his defense. Yeah, but I really wasn't annoyed until until we were talking about it the other day. And then I'm like, yeah, like you're actually right. That's annoying. We could have got somebody else in that time. You're trying out, and then before anything happens, you just quit, retire, quit. Same
It's
thing like
selfish.
in this situation.
It's
So
selfish.
yeah, it was definitely selfish, definitely not cool. But I didn't think he would have been on the team anyway if he retired or not. I would have thought maybe he would go to another team. I mean, I don't know who, but just not on the New York Knicks. And when it comes to the Tyler Kolek situation, honestly, I don't want to give up on him yet at all. But I think that he should get more minutes just to see what we have. But if we need someone else on this roster, I would not mind Victor Oladipo at all. But people can't forget this guy, he gets hurt a lot. He gets hurt a whole lot. I mean, if you want to try, be my guest, but I don't think we should really rely on him as like an important bench piece just so we don't get our hopes up. And I mean, obviously, we don't pray for any injuries, but the more that he plays, it seems like the more he gets hurt.
Yeah. No, that's a valid point. And I think that's also why the Knicks are kind of they're staying away from the, Oladipo talk and the possible acquisition, right? So I think you make valid points there. I do believe that Tyler Kolek will be something in this league. I think Malcolm Brogdon would have been a nice bench piece, right? And I agree with you, Dom. I don't think he came in shape. I think I said this about I don't know how many weeks ago, but remember we were discussing about the Mets and Frankie Montas, and we
Mhm.
said when we did sports tryouts in high school that they always told us to come to tryouts in shape, not come to tryouts to get in shape. It looked like Malcolm Brogdon, you're 100% right, looked like he came to preseason and training camp to get in shape. So that is a big, big problem, and that's something that a lot of teams are just not going to put up with. So him retiring, okay, you want to retire, fine, but do me a favor, do it before you decide to fly with the team to frickin' Abu Dhabi and go get on a camel and have some nice coffee and crepes and whatever the hell they eat in Abu Dhabi. But Malcolm Brogdon deciding to take a nice little fall vacation and then play some BS minutes for 2 preseason games. I mean, dude, that's insane to me. But we'll see what Tyler Kolek has, and we'll see how he does as the backup point guard. The final roster for point guards, of course, the captain, Jalen Brunson. Right, I'm wearing his jersey today, number 11. Jordan Clarkson, Tyler Kolek, shooting guards, Mikal Bridges, Miles McBride, Landry Shamet, small forward, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart. Let's see if I can pronounce this one, Dom. Tosan Evbuamwan, Kevin McCullough Jr. Yeah, it was a shot in the dark. Power forward, Carl Anthony Towns, Gershon Yabusele, Pacom Dadier, which Dom has high hopes for, Mohamed Diawara, and then at center, Mitchell Robinson, Ariel Hukporti, Trey Jameson the third. And speaking of Mitchell Robinson, can somebody, for the love of God, explain to me why this guy is still on load management? This is getting a little bit ridiculous, and the season hasn't even started. And everyone's saying, oh, well, save him for the playoffs. Folks, he's only 1 year older than me and Dom. He's 27 years old. I mean, for the love of God, how much load management are we going to do with this guy? His injury history. Dude, you know what? Then you should have traded him over the summer, and you should have gotten somebody else. How much load management, Dom, are the Knicks going to do with Mitchell Robinson? He's supposed to be starting next to Cat. We discussed this in the preseason over the summer during training camp. Can you explain to me why there's still load management even before the season even begins for Mitchell Robinson?
Absolutely not. No, I can't explain it to you at all. Like we were talking before we came on air, that if this was in March or something, no one would have a problem with this at all. The fact that the season didn't even start yet and they're already saying he's not hurt, but we're just watching his workload and just like being cautious before game one is just absurd. Even if they're healthy, right? Like let's say an example, like a Jalen Brunson right now, he's fully healthy. He's not going to be 100% game one. For every single NBA player, it takes at least a few games for them to be in game shape. There's a difference between being in shape and game shape. Well, obviously, you do conditioning, trying to stay fit, putting up your shots during the off season. But once the season starts, it's all about cadence. It's all about your cadence and your speed and your time. That's completely different. Even if you're scrimmaging and stuff like that during the off season, it's still not the same. It's still not the same speed. It's still not the same cadence. You still gotta do all that. So I don't get it. He should be playing just so he can get in game shape. I don't understand what they're trying to do. And, obviously they want him healthy for the playoffs. That's what they're going to say. But it's October. Playoffs are in April. So this This just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Uh,
But you know what? I'll trust him though. You know what? This is a new regime. Obviously, if Tibbs was here, he would have been like, "Fuck that." You know, you're playing 46, like you're playing. So this is a new vibe for
dude,
this year with the team. You
mm,
know, they say, "Oh, we're gonna try and maybe play Jalen Brunson and the top guys, maybe like 30 to 34 minutes," which is like 34 minutes is what Tibbs played him at. So I don't know how much of a difference it's going to be when it comes to them playing. But you know what? I'm all for everything. Let's see how it goes. Why not? You know, I
yeah.
mean, for these past few years, it seems like Mitchell Robinson is made out of glass. So you know what? I'll trust him, even though I don't think it makes sense. But you know what? I'm here for the ride. I'm here for it, and let's see if it works. Because you gotta try something.
Dom, I just don't understand how you don't start the first game of the season.
Me neither.
I mean, if you have a serious injury that's going to hinder your performance on the court, okay, then I could understand you not playing the first game of the season. But dude, load management, this is insane. It's like, okay, at least play a week. Play like the 9 home games out of 12, the first stretch of the season. And then maybe tell me, okay, we're gonna now lower his minutes a little bit for the next couple of games. But the first game of the season, we're already going to be discussing load management. And me, in my personal opinion, I don't know how you see it. I see it as a distraction. I'm sorry. I just think it's insane to me. But listen, it is what it is. Whatever. The other thing that Dom, you could touch on a little bit, try to keep it short. The thing with Matt Barnes that you brought up to me before we started the episode today. We don't have to play the video. I'm not going to screen share. Just, him talking about how Mike Brown, the players love him the first year, and then the years following, they kind of just walk all over him. Dom, you can, I guess, just share your take on that.
Yeah, so for the people who haven't seen, or if you want to go to Matt Barnes' podcast, you can go look at it. He was basically talking about his time that he had with Mike Brown as a coach when he was in LA with Kobe and Meta World Peace. And he was saying that he is, he's like a really nice guy. He's a good person, but Matt Barnes doesn't think that he's a leader of men. That he shouldn't be the one leading a team. That he shouldn't be like a head coach. He said that he's an amazing assistant coach, but he doesn't think he has the right mentality for a head coaching position. He proved that Kobe and Meta World Peace and guys like that, while they're playing for the Lakers, they would sub themselves out or sub themselves back in, or just call timeouts without Mike Brown calling a timeout. He just lost control of the team. That was like one example. And then another example was when he brought the Kings, Mike Brown, to the playoffs for the first time in years. And, that was a good first year. And then the year after that, the team just lost respect and fell apart. And, Fox got traded because he wanted to get out of there, mainly because of Mike Brown. So I know it's different players and different teams. And, we have a new complete team this year, nothing like last year, and a new system now. So let's see how it goes. We don't,
I mean,
we have no idea how this is going to go. With Karl Anthony Towns, I'll touch on that for just 1 second.
mhm.
They asked him in a press conference, what do you think your role is going to be? Are you going to play more of the 5? Or are you going to be playing more of the 4? Or are you going to be in the post? Or are you going to be shooting more? He's like, I don't know. He said, I don't know. So
Yeah.
maybe it's a good thing that we don't know.
Yeah. I,
It
I
could it could
honestly
be a good thing.
see that part, Dom. So I'm going to touch on both just quick. In terms of Matt Barnes, I just think here at the Knicks, it's a different culture. I think you have different respectful. I'm not trying to belittle any of the other players that Mike Brown has coached. But when you talk about Jalen Brunson, Cat, Mikal Bridges, I just think a lot of these guys have a great deal of respect for whichever coach is going to be coaching. I mean, Dom, we know how Mikal Bridges obviously wasn't fond of Tom Thibodeau. He
No.
wasn't fond of his minutes usage and how he'd play guys, constantly from start to finish. But I just think a lot of these guys at the end of the day, hey, listen, they said what they said at the exit interview for Tom Thibodeau to get let go. Oh, well, what are you supposed to do? Sit there and say nothing? You're going to say something. They're literally asking you, is everything okay? Do we continue next season with this guy? And then what? You say, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. Can of corn, I'll be fine. Can of corn. Like, what do you, no, you're going to say what you think and what you feel and what you believe. If you think you're better off with a different coach and you're not fond of the current coach and going into next year with the same guy, you're going to say something. So I think with these guys, yes, sure. From what Matt Barnes said, the first year, a lot of guys have faith in him. It's a new coach. They want to get on their good side, right? Everyone wants to respect each other, like each other, be boys and all that. Mike Brown, as Dom, we've already seen, Mike Brown wants a much, much faster offense, which we're very much hip to. And he also wants guys to practice hard, which is something we've discussed it since we started this podcast. That is something that Tom Thibodeau did not voice much of. So there are some changes. There are some different things with Mike Brown. And then regarding Cat, I think, Dom, I think that's a normal answer. A lot of people have blown it out of proportion because they're not used to players being unfiltered and giving their honest answer. But let's be real. If a new coach comes in here and he's doing a brand new offensive scheme and everything is brand new to these players, would you know what your offensive role is going to be?
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure.
Absolutely not. So honestly, as everyone's been saying, okay, even the analysts said it, Ian Begley, a lot of other people, it is going to take time. And they keep on Mike Breen, excuse me. He even said it in the last preseason game this past Friday. What was the record of the Miami Heat 2010-11 season, the first 17 games? Do you remember what their beginning record was?
I
No?
definitely don't.
They were 9-8. That is not up to LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh standard. That big three that they had in Miami. There's no way.
Excuse me.
But yeah, that's really all I'll say. It's normal for Cat to have that answer. I honestly respect him for giving that kind of answer. So that's really all I'd say regarding those two things that Dom had mentioned. Dom, is there anything else you want to say before I move on to the next
Yes,
topic here?
absolutely. Who the hell's playing?
I'm getting a little worried, I know.
Nothing really has new that came out with OG and Cat. It seems like it's just it was a coach's decision. So I'm just going to assume as of the time of this recording that OG and Cat are going to play.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have a new development with Josh Hart. With Josh Hart, he had a preseason back injury about 3 weeks ago now. And, people were saying that, it's not that serious. It's okay. And then we get a tweet this morning coming out from Ian Begley that, he heard that the injury was not serious and the expectation that Hart would be ready for opening night. Now it's hard to say. Then he says, and I quote, "I just assumed that he would be back by now based on what I heard in the aftermath of that back injury. You have to question whether you're going to have him Wednesday and how bad that injury actually is. If it was as minor as it was described in the aftermath, he would have been practicing by now and scrimmaging by now at the very least. Maybe it's a game of possum that the Knicks are playing with Josh Hart and with the Cavs, and he'll be out there and ready to go on Wednesday. But it's concerning. It is concerning.
It is.
100%.
It is.
And good thing now that we do have someone that can rebound, that isn't Cat and that isn't Mish. We have Yabusele now.
Mm-hmm.
He can get some rebounds, but Josh Hart does everything. He passes, he looks up downfield, he goes down the court looking for fast breaks. It seems like the more that he's on the Knicks, the more he's been shooting threes. So and we need all the shooting we can get. Right. So obviously I'm going to be such a cornball right now, but he literally is the heart of the team. That was corny as shit, I know, but it's true.
Was that pun intended or no?
1,000% intended.
All right.
1,000% intended. And honestly, we need him. And this is also one thing that I can say about the Knicks. If one guy goes down, we're in trouble. Like any one of them. It could be Mitch, it could be Cat, it could be OG, it could be Mikal Bridges, it could be Brunson. If one of them goes down, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder than we think.
Yeah, they have to. But again, I think with Mike Brown and the way he structures his minutes and the way he uses the whole roster and the depth that they have, I'm not going to be totally worried about that. I honestly think, I'm going to be honest, the only guy that I'm really concerned about injury-wise is Josh Hart, because he's got his finger problem, now back spasms. At some point, listen, I'm going to just say it right now, before the first game even kicks off on Wednesday. The Knicks, I think, are going to make a trade in February. They're going to trade for someone. I know the first game hasn't even started yet. I know we're just getting going here, but as Dom said, with their depth, and now I hate to say it, but Malcolm Brogdon retiring and Josh Hart having an injury problem already. Now, yes, other guys didn't play, but I think they even wrote it on SNY. That was more of a precaution type thing to not have Mitch, OG, and Cat play. Of course, Mitch is on his stupid load management crap, but Josh Hart's really the only guy, Dom, that I'm really concerned about injury wise. And you know what? We'll see. We'll see if he plays tomorrow. Would you bet Josh Hart plays tomorrow?
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no as well.
I mean, Ian Begley hit it. He hit the nail on the coffin here, but you're not even scrimmaging. You're not even practicing.
Right, right, right.
And I
I
mean,
know.
especially with a back too. You
Yeah.
know, like this isn't a finger,
Mhm,
you know, or a
mhm.
finger or a toe. Like the back is really important. Probably the
Yeah,
most important and the most like sensitive injury you could have.
yeah.
So
No, I
as
know.
of right now, I don't think he will play. And as of right now, I'd be shocked if they say tomorrow that he will.
I 100% agree with you. I don't think he's gonna play 7 PM game against the Cleveland Cavs. I don't think he plays Wednesday night tomorrow either. So that's it for the Knicks. Now going on to the MLB. Dom, really, Yankees are just looking forward to the winter offseason once the World Series ends. I really just have one question for you. Do you think Cody Bellinger will be back in pinstripes?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I've heard reports that he said vocally that he's going to opt out of his contract. So I mean, you can't really blame the guy. He did have a good year with the Yankees, and he wants more money. I can't blame him for that. But now it also seems like because he is going to do that allegedly, that probably more than half the league is going to go try and get him. And it's just going to be on how much money can you give me. But honestly, the Yankees are desperate, and I can't really. I mean, maybe we can go out there and get Kyle Tucker if it's possible, or maybe we can try and trade for a good pitcher, like another good pitcher or something. But I can't really see any crazy moves this offseason for the Yankees. I can see
Right.
some solid pickups, but I really can't see any league changing moves. As of right
Mhm.
now, I can't see it. But you got to give that man his money. You got to give Cody Bellinger his money. You know what? We have money to spend now. You know what? Let's be greedy. Let's be like the Dodgers. Let's just hand out money to people. You know, honestly, at this rate, just do it. You got to risk it to get the biscuit. Just do it.
I feel you. I get it. I mean, for the year, right? 588 at bats, 89 runs, 160 hits, 98 RBIs, and a 272 batting average. If I go even deeper into his statistics, he had 29 homers. I mean, he had a good season, right? Yeah, he had a very, very good season. And, 57 walks, five triples, 25 doubles. He came to play this year. So I'm with you, Dom. I do think they should give Cody Bellinger what he's looking for and keep him on the Yankees. I think it'd be a smart move. But is that anything else? I mean, there's not really much going on with the Yanks. I mean, is there anything else you could see them maybe doing, or is it too early?
Well, actually, there's one thing that I can say very quick. Anthony Volpe getting shoulder surgery. No, they were saying no, his play is not going to be affected. We can wait till the off season to do it. He'll be all right. He was clearly hurt all year then.
Oh boy.
All goddamn year. He was hurt. And why were you so like scared to admit it? For what? What was his shoulder about to come off? Would he have to decapitate his shoulder or his whole arm? I mean, what was the big secret? Like, why are you trying to hide stuff?
I don't
That's
know.
something that's not even that crazy. You should want him to get healthy. You should want him to get surgery if he needed to get it. Like the amount of wins that he costs us in the regular season, him and Devin Williams, just off of those two players alone, that cost us, I can't even tell you how many wins. Maybe 10. Maybe
Could have
10 to
had the
15 wins.
division, could have had the division over the Blue Jays, could have had the best record in the AL, could have had a better scenario maybe for the playoffs. Who knows? I agree, man. One game. It's really all it was, just like the Mets,
Yeah.
with even just qualifying for the wild card over the Reds. Just one game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cashman, I'm not surprised. This wasn't Boone's call. As much as I don't like Boone, this wasn't on him. He
Mm-mm.
wasn't the one being like, "Oh, okay, no, I'll let you stay in." Like obviously I'm sure that Anthony Volpe wanted to play. He didn't want to miss time. And then Cashman was probably like, he says he can go, so he can go. They did not even think of his health at all. He just took him for his word.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, and then you question, right? 17 errors he had on the season, right, Dom? I think it was 17. I
Mhm.
mean, then you start to wonder, okay, maybe there was something. It's malpractice by the Yankees. It's just, don't get me wrong, Anthony Volpe didn't have a great year, but I don't know. Could have handled it a lot better than how they did. So
Yep.
that's the Yankees. The Mets, I'm gonna try to keep this short, but Mets are going to be going into preparation for a possible Tarik Skubal trade. According to John Heyman of the New York Post, the Tigers and Skubal are $250 million apart from a new contract. It's a lot of quiche. It's a lot of money. So, with that all being said and out there, the Mets should be going all hands on deck, and everyone not named Nolan McLean should be on the table. You need an ace. We all heard David Stearns in the press conference say run prevention was a big problem of theirs and a big reason why they didn't even make the playoffs. Forget about win 90 games, just making the playoffs, period. And they need to get a frontline starting pitcher, and this would be an absolute bulldog of an ace pitcher to acquire. Won the Cy Young last year. I am assuming when awards night comes out for the MLB soon, he's going to win the AL Cy Young again. And this would be one hell of a trade. As we discussed last week, he has 1 year left on his deal at $22.5 million. And if the Mets do get him, I heavily suggested, and I still heavily suggest now, they extend him immediately. He will only be 29 next month. I think the exact date is November 20th. And he is a bulldog of an ace, as I just said already, which is exactly what the Mets need. And again, the only person that should be off the table is Nolan McLean. Everyone else should be tradable. Okay, now, with all this said, I was sitting down with my brother yesterday, Dom, and I asked Nick, what is a good trade proposal that would get it done? Jim Duquette for SNY for Baseball Night in New York was like, well, this is the package that it would be competitive and have the Tigers pick up the phone, but I don't know if it would get it done. So your package is then useless to me. Thanks for coming on the show. Why in the world are you giving me a package that's only going to have them pick up the phone and not get the job done? Go home. Couldn't even believe it. So I
That's
asked Nick, I said, what's a good package to put together that would get the job done to get Tarik Skubal? And so the trade proposal that we came up with is one of Brandon Sproat or Jonah Tong, preferably trade Sproat, but to get the deal done, it's going to be Jonah Tong because he's got more upside. And I believe he is younger. I mean, he looks like he's 12, but it does look like he is younger. I'll have to look that up just to be safe. But again, I'd prefer to trade Brandon Sproat, but the Tigers are going to want 22-year-old Jonah Tong. Carson Bench or Jet Williams. I'd preferably want to trade Jet Williams because they're going to need Carson Bench for the center field need. And I think I agree with Connor Rogers on the Mets pod. I think Carson Bench could make the opening day roster. And then Jacob Reimer and Mark Vientos. That would be the package. Now, would you have to say trade another maybe B-level prospect or maybe have to throw in a Jeff McNeil or a Ronnie Mauricio or an L.A. Acuna? Sure, do it. I don't give a shit. Throw both Mauricio and Jeff McNeil or Jeff McNeil and L.A. Acuna or L.A. Acuna and Mauricio. I don't care. If you got to send in two more guys out of that trio, do it. Don't care. I would love to see Tarik Skubal in a Mets uniform. And that would be my trade package. And if they could get it done, that would be fantastic. Now, the last thing I'm going to say here, and this is more an external statement away from the New York Mets. I know everyone wants to keep getting on the Mets case about their payroll and not making the playoffs. But, Dom, I've been holding in this topic for a couple of weeks now. Where is the chastising on the San Diego Padres and A.J. Preller? They trade every prospect under the damn sun. And I got to ask you, Dom, have they made the World Series yet?
Nope.
Not last time I checked. So everyone wants to get on the Mets case. What about the San Diego Padres? They haven't done shit. They made the NLCS. What was it? I think it was 2022 when the Phillies defeated them and they moved on to the World Series. Other than that, what have they done? They lost in the NLDS last year to the Dodgers. And then 2023, I don't even know what they did that season, to be honest with you. but they didn't go very far.
I think they lost in the divisional.
Did they? They probably did.
If I'm not mistaken.
Well, we're going to find out right now. They went 82-80. They finished third in the division. And yeah, Dom, I don't even know if they made the playoffs.
Was that the year with Juan Soto?
Yes, I don't even think they made it. Season standings, no way. 82-80? No, they didn't make it. No. No way. I mean, that is hilarious.
That is
So,
awesome.
as much as you want to get on the New York Mets, maybe we should start talking about the San Diego Padres. Yeah, no, because 2024 National League wildcard winners. Yeah, no, they didn't make the playoffs 2023. So, with all the prospects that AJ Preller has traded, the Padres haven't done shit. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. Their payroll this past year was $216 million. That's ninth in the MLB. So, they were in the top 10 for payroll. It's not like they're not spending. They have a very expensive and exorbitant contractual agreement for the infield with Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts. I mean, you got Jake Cronenworth. You had Luis Arias. We'll see where Luis Arias ends up because I'm pretty sure, Dom, he's a free agent now. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there before we ended the MLB segment of this episode. So that's it for that. Take a seat, let's bet. Dom's DraftKings for Thursday Night Football, and then he has a single bet for the Giants. So that's how we're going to do it from now on. We're going to do Thursday Night Football bets, and then just throw in a sprinkle bet for our respective teams. Dom, do you have a DraftKings bet for the Thursday Night Football game, Chargers versus Vikings?
I have Lad McConkey anytime touchdown plus 160. And
Okay.
then for the Giants game against the Eagles, I'm going to do an anytime touchdown for Wan'Dale Robinson at plus 295.
Okay.
That's what I have. And then I was debating on either McConkey or Quentin Johnston, but it's actually a better chance for Johnson to score, but it was only like plus 120.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm going to go for the higher number in Lamb McConkey and plus 160.
Okay. All right. Those are some solid bets. Think they're good. So for me, for FanDuel bets for Thursday Night Football, again, Chargers, Vikings, then the Jets. So start with the Vikings here. Jordan Mason, anytime touchdown. Okay. This is plus 105. Chargers rushing defense is 21st in the NFL. The Chargers, I'm going with this one, and I think it's possible. Chargers defense, anytime touchdown, plus 650. Carson Wentz and J.J. McCarthy, Dom, have combined for 7 interceptions in 6 games. 3 from J.J. McCarthy in 2 games, and 4 from Wentz in 4 games. Chargers have the speed and ability to get a pick 6. They do not have one yet this season, so I believe they're due. But they do have 6 interceptions in 7 games played. So I know it sounds a bit risky, plus 650, but I don't know. These two with the Vikings, they throw them like lollipops to a kid at the barbershop. So we'll see exactly what happens, but I think that's a solid bet.
Yeah, that is solid.
Also, you have alternate total points. I think it's going to be under 31.5 for the game. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. It's plus 520. Vikings are 6th in total defense, 2nd in passing defense, 24th in rushing defense. So that's where the Chargers can try to score a bit. Chargers are 7th total defense, 6th passing defense, 21st in rushing defense. So those are your bets for Thursday Night Football. And then the Jets, I mean, it's a little too early for Sunday, so you can't really see much. But the one bet that I put down was total touchdowns, New York Jets, under 1.5 at plus 164. Because the Jets just are a very, very incompetent franchise, and I just don't see them doing much in their game. So those are the bets that we have out. Now take a seat. Let's predict. Dom, you go first. Giants at Eagles. This is an intriguing one. What do you got? And what's the score?
I think that the Giants are going to lose this one. You know, the Eagles know what's coming now. They have tape on Jackson Dart now. They have tape on Scatterboot. They know what they bring to the table, and then they also can even look at the Broncos tape and what they did wrong against the Broncos. And now we also have Jalen Carter who will play, and any type of pressure from this line is really not holding up in the middle of the field. And also, we don't know if JMS is going to play because he was out with a concussion against the Broncos, so we don't know how he's going to be. I mean, you get a concussion, then you got to come back and defend Jalen Carter. I mean, good luck. I don't think anyone could do that. Honestly, Honestly, I could probably even say to bet Jalen Carter for a sack. I would put some money on that too, whatever that is. So, but at the end of the day, I think the Giants will lose this game. I think they're going to lose the game. I'd say 24-17.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'll go with.
Yeah. I'm thinking of how that game may play out. Yeah, I think that's a solid I think that's a good predicted score. For the Jets at Bengals, another week, another loss. I mean, at Cincinnati, I know the Bengals aren't a great defensive team. They're all the way near the bottom, essentially in every category: scoring, passing, rushing, total, defense. But I mean, what makes me think that Aaron Glenn is even going to start, Tyrod Taylor? He said it, yesterday in the press conference yesterday morning that he's going to consult with other coaches and see what they've done in this situation. And on top of it, he's not 100% sure. They'll have to go through the game day preparations and go through the motions of practice this week. So I don't know who the hell is starting, but I think irregardless, whoever starts for the Jets is going to lose. I don't care how bad the Bengals defense is. Nothing has shown me, especially not this past week, nothing has showed me that they have any opportunity to win. And I think Joe Flacco is going to come in and just burn the Jets like any quarterback who leaves the Jets. How they always do it. Just come in and totally mutilate. You know, it's funny. Aaron Rodgers, Dom, has 14 touchdowns, third best in the NFL. So he must be thrilled to leave East Rutherford and go play in Pittsburgh. So there's that. So I say Jets lose to the Bengals. I'm going to go with, I'm going to say the Jets actually get 3 field goals, but I'm actually going to say they lose. I'm going to say 24-9. I'll say 24-9 they lose.
3
That's
field
my
goals.
prediction. Yeah. I mean, it's easy. It's an easy loss prediction. It's not that hard. So
No.
there's that. Now, Dom, our first week of Knicks game predictions. Of course, we fill the whole week, and there are a slate of 3 games. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7 p.m., home opener against the Cavs, and then the Celtics on Friday at home, and then they go to Miami and play the Heat on Sunday. It's your weekly prediction, pal.
It's the thing with the Cavs is this is me saying this assuming that Josh Hart is not playing and that Cat and OG will be in. I'm going to say that they're going to lose. They're going to lose this game. They're going to lose this game not because of talent or anything. It just seems like that they're just going to have to gel. They're going to have to gel into this new system, and the Cavs are still very good. If it's not the Knicks winning the ECF this year, it's going to be the Cavs. I don't think it's going to be anybody else, but either one of those 2 teams. And you still have Donovan Mitchell, you still have Evan Mobley, you still have Jared Allen, you still have Darius Garland, you still have a great team. And, they're, same system, same everything. So I'm going to say we're going to lose that game. And then I'm going to say that we'll beat the Celtics just because there's not enough talent on that team right now for them to handle the Knicks. And then going in Miami, I'll say we're going to lose that one. And I'm not going to lie to you. We're both a fan of this guy, Khalil Ware. How you say his name?
Khalil Ware.
Yeah, he is. I think he's going to have a monster season.
Okay.
Him being probably that he'll have the best year of his career so far, playing with Bam and then also playing with Tyler Herro. And the way that he went off last year, if he does the same thing this year, they could be a threat to us too.
Okay.
That could be a nice trio right there of players.
Yeah. So at first I was going to go 1-2 and say they lose both tomorrow and Friday and they beat the Heat in Miami. But actually I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to say they lose tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and then they beat the Celtics because they're at home. If the Knicks were going to Boston, I was going to say 1-2. But because the Celtics are coming here, I'm going to say 2-1. I'm going to say they lose to the Cavs tomorrow. They beat the Celtics and they beat the Heat. So you go 1-2 and you have loss, win, loss. And I have 2-1 and it's loss, win, win. Okay.
There you go.
Well, we'll see what happens. Anything to say, Dom, before I wrap up today's episode?
Yeah, because of this kicker situation, Joe Shane, you got to go. The fact that we still don't have a kicker, and we would have won this game if we had a kicker. So take that as you wish, but because of that, he's got to go. And I think I've seen enough, even though it's only been a few games. I do want to see Brian Daboll be with Jackson Dart. I think he's a great mentor to him. It seems like they have great chemistry already. So even if he's calling plays or if he's not calling plays, if it's Mike Kafka or somebody else, whatever, I actually want to see Brian Daboll with Jackson Dart. Obviously, I don't really have to say it, but I'll say it anyway, that you saw how it was when he was with Josh Allen in Buffalo. Even though that last year and the year before that was probably the worst 2 years in Giants history, it seems like he finally got his guy, and it seems like, he's more motivated to be there. It seems like he's more motivated to try and help people out. Just even the training camp and OTAs, you're seeing like how his attitude has changed going from Daniel Jones to Jackson Dart. So as much as people want him gone, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, comment down below what you think when we post this, but keep Brian Daboll, fire Joe Shane, and fire Shane Bowen.
Okay, I gotcha. So for me, I guess I'll just leave it on this for each sport. The Jets adamantly believe they're going to go 0-17, and with that happening, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji both need to go. They need to strip it. I mean, you can't strip it completely from the top because Woody Johnson would have to sell the team. God, that would be a fantastic morning if I just happen to look at my phone and I get a notification from Adam Schefter that Woody Johnson's selling the team at the end of the year. Wouldn't that be great? But they do have to strip it from the GM down and just reconstruct this all, and hopefully you can get Fernando Mendoza. So again, I think the Jets will go 0-17, and then the coach and the GM will get fired, and maybe they'll have to just get a completely different coaching staff. The Knicks, I think we should try to be level-headed and control our temper and be calm, composed, collected, patient, whatever you want to say. I agree with Dom. It's going to be a little bit of a slippery slope coming out of the start. So let's understand that this is all new. It's not only new to the players playing it, it's new to the fans for watching it. So we have to understand that as well. And to the Mets, very simple. For the love of God, please trade for Tarik Skubal. You need this guy. There is no excuse. And let's not forget, the CBA is done after 2026. Will there be a lockout? I am pretty confident that there will be.
Yeah, there will be.
Do yourself a favor and go get Tarik Skubal and trade for him, because you need a frontline starter. Like Dom has said about Cody Sango, what can you expect from him? Another year, another disappointment. Right when he got hurt, middle of June, that's essentially when the Mets season fell apart. But the Mets need to go get Tarik Skubal. Anything else you want to say, Dom?
Well, just real quick, I'm sorry, I should have asked this earlier. You would prefer him over Paul Skeens?
That's a great question.
I should have asked that earlier.
No, because of the team control and the age. So if you gave me an option of Paul Skeens or Tarik Skubal, no, I'm taking Paul Skeens. So great question. It doesn't matter where you ask it, at least you asked it, right? So respect that. And to the folks that also have good trade proposals, please put them down below. So I would love to see other people's takes on how the Mets could pry Tarik Skubal from Detroit. But other than that, Dom, are you good? I'm good.
I'm all good. We're pretty down with our football teams, but you know what? Tomorrow's a new day and a new season, and let's just hope that the Knicks have a good season and give some New York fans some joy, because we need it. We definitely need it. We thought that the Yankees and Mets were gonna go far, possibly a Subway World Series, but that didn't happen. New York football, baby, terrible, awful. So we're back. We're back to the good guys.
That's right.
So let's go Knicks.
Back to the Knicks. Go Knicks is right. Go New York. Go New York. Go. New York Knicks basketball's back starting tomorrow night. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you to everyone for tuning into today's episode of the FTB podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.